Imagine standing at the edge of a vertical shaft, staring down into absolute darkness. The air grows colder with each step as you descend through narrow passages carved by unknown hands. Beneath the sun-scorched landscapes of Cappadocia, Turkey, lies a forbidden world, an entire underground metropolis that remained hidden for millennia. Not just tunnels, but an intricate labyrinth spanning 18 levels deep into the earth, with room for 20,000 souls to vanish without a trace. What kind of civilization builds downward instead of toward the sky? What forces would drive thousands to create a subterranean world, complete with ventilation systems, water wells, and massive stone doors that could only be operated from the inside? In 1963, a Turkish man renovating his home broke through a wall and stumbled upon something impossible: the entrance to Derinkuyu, perhaps the most sophisticated underground city ever discovered. But here's the twist that archaeologists still can't fully explain. This wasn't some primitive shelter. This was an engineering masterpiece with schools, livestock pens, wine presses, and what appear to be ceremonial chambers, all hidden beneath the earth. What we're about to uncover might rewrite history, because whoever built this underground labyrinth wasn't just hiding, they were creating a parallel world beneath our feet. And the question that haunts researchers isn't just who built it, but what exactly were they hiding from? As we venture deeper into the mystery of Derinkuyu, we find ourselves walking through corridors that haven't felt human footsteps for centuries. The underground city stretches across 8 levels that have been excavated so far, though researchers believe it may extend to 18 levels below the surface. Each stone bears witness to an extraordinary feat of ancient engineering, a subterranean marvel carved entirely by hand from the region's soft volcanic tuff. Picture the scene. Thousands of people living beneath the earth in a complex network of tunnels and chambers, breathing through a sophisticated ventilation system that reaches depths of 85 meters. Over 600 concealed entrances connect to the surface world, disguised as ordinary courtyards and homes. But perhaps most chilling are the massive circular stone doors, weighing up to 500 kilograms, designed to seal off each section from within, rolling into place like silent sentinels. But who created this underground labyrinth? The conventional wisdom points to the Phrygians, who may have begun excavation around the 8th century BCE. Yet evidence suggests the Hittites, who dominated Anatolia from 1600 to 1180 BCE, might have initiated the first underground chambers. The complexity of these structures, notes archaeologist Omer Demir, indicates generations of knowledge passed down through civilizations. What's particularly fascinating is how the city evolved over time. When Byzantine Christians fled persecution in the 7th century CE, they expanded these underground havens, adding chapels adorned with crosses and religious imagery. The walls still bear their frescoes, silent prayers frozen in pigment and stone. Imagine living in perpetual twilight, where oil lamps cast dancing shadows on walls that never see sunlight. The residents created an entire parallel society, with stables for animals, storage rooms for grain, and even wineries where grapes from the surface world were transformed into wine in the cool, constant temperatures below. Could there be a more perfect metaphor for resilience than fermenting hope in darkness? But Derinkuyu isn't alone. Across Cappadocia, over 200 underground cities have been discovered, connected by tunnels stretching for kilometers. Kaymakli, Özkonak, Mazi, each with their own secrets, their own stories of survival. Together they form what might be the most extensive underground network created by human hands. Yet something doesn't quite add up in the conventional narrative. The engineering precision, the scale, the complexity, all achieved with primitive tools. As Shakespeare's Hamlet reminds us, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Could there be more to this underground world than meets the eye? What if these cities weren't just refuges from human invaders? What if they were designed to protect against something else entirely? Here's where our mystery takes a fascinating turn. While historians have long maintained that Derinkuyu and its sister cities were built as protection against warring armies, certain architectural elements challenge this simple explanation. The Massive stone doors, perfectly balanced to be operated by a single person from inside, weren't just designed to keep enemies out. They were engineered to seal entire sections hermetically, creating isolated pockets throughout the complex. But why would anyone need to isolate sections of an underground city from each other? What threat would necessitate such compartmentalization? Ancient Hittite tablets speak of the year without summer, a catastrophic climate event that modern scientists have linked to the Thera eruption around 1600 BCE. This volcanic cataclysm, possibly the largest in recorded history, would have darkened skies across the Mediterranean and beyond. Could Derinkuyu have been designed as a refuge not from armies, but from an apocalyptic environmental disaster? Even more intriguing are the mysterious shaft systems that connect all levels of the city. Conventional explanations suggest they served as wells or ventilation. However, Dr. Elena Korshunova of Moscow State University has proposed a more radical theory. These shafts create a remarkable acoustic phenomenon. When specific frequencies are produced at certain junctions, the sound resonates throughout the entire structure, allowing communication across all levels without modern technology. In other words, the entire underground complex might have functioned as an ancient communication system, a Stone Age intercom built with acoustic precision that we're only beginning to understand. But the most perplexing features are the so-called meditation chambers found on the deepest levels. These perfectly circular rooms, isolated from the main living areas, contain strange niches and platforms that don't align with typical Byzantine or Hittite religious practices. Ancient Anatolian texts reference the chambers where heaven speaks to earth, cryptic descriptions that have puzzled translators for generations. What if these weren't cities of refuge, but centers of some forgotten knowledge? As we examine the layout of Derinkuyu's deepest chambers, something remarkable emerges. The proportions and alignments mirror astronomical configurations that would have been visible in the night sky during the Hittite period. As above, so below. But why create a mirror of the heavens beneath the earth? Perhaps most chilling is what Turkish geologists discovered in 2014. Trace evidence of radiation and unusual mineral deposits in specific chambers, particularly those sealed off from the main network. These readings are inconsistent with natural geological formations, notes Dr. Ahmet Yilmaz of Istanbul Technical University. Something extraordinary happened in these chambers, something that left an elemental signature we cannot yet explain. What if the true purpose of Derinkuyu has been hiding in plain sight all along? What if we're not looking at a city of refugees, but at something far more profound, perhaps even sacred? As we emerge from the depths of Derinkuyu back into the sunlight, we're left with a profound sense that we've only scratched the surface of this underground enigma. The conventional narrative that these were merely shelters from invading armies feels increasingly inadequate as we consider the astronomical alignments, acoustic properties, and unexplained radiation signatures found in the deepest chambers. Perhaps the most compelling perspective comes from examining how different cultures throughout history have viewed the underground realm. For the ancient Hittites, the underworld wasn't just a place of death, but a source of wisdom and rebirth. Their texts speak of the knowledge that sleeps beneath the mountains, a tantalizing hint that Derinkuyu might have served a purpose, far beyond mere survival. What's particularly striking is how this underground city connects to other subterranean mysteries across the ancient world. From the labyrinthine passages beneath Malta's Hypogeum to the enigmatic tunnels of Cusco in Peru, civilizations separated by vast oceans all invested enormous resources in creating elaborate underground structures. As the Roman philosopher Seneca once observed, time discovers truth, and perhaps the truth about these parallel underworlds is finally emerging. The modern inhabitants of Cappadocia have their own theories. Local guide Mehmet Alp, whose family has lived in the region for generations, shares an intriguing perspective. My grandfather told me these cities weren't built to hide from enemies above, but to connect with something below. The deepest chambers, he said, were where the ancient ones would listen to the earth speaking. This connection between the underground world and hidden knowledge appears repeatedly in folklore worldwide. What if Derinkuyu represents not just an architectural achievement, but a different way of understanding our relationship with the planet itself? What if these chambers were designed to amplify something we've forgotten how to hear? As technology advances, new methods of investigation are revealing previously invisible aspects of these structures. Ground-penetrating radar has recently identified what appear to be undiscovered chambers beneath the already excavated levels. Chambers that follow a distinct geometric pattern, unlike anything in the known portions of the city. What secrets might they hold? What purpose might they have served? The mystery of Derinkuyu reminds us that history isn't a straight line, but a labyrinth with unexpected turns and hidden passages. Just as the ancient builders created a world beneath our feet, perhaps they've also left us a message about our place in the cosmos. A message written not in texts that can burn or fade, but carved into the living rock of our planet. Loved, this journey into the underground. Hit subscribe for more mysteries that challenge conventional history. And remember, this exploration blends documented archaeological findings with speculative connections based on historical sources. The true mystery of Derinkuyu isn't just what we've discovered, but what remains hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right questions to be asked. What do you think these underground cities were really built for?